la un indie place cu The Stanley Parable, unul dintre cele mai bune jocuri indie. Begin the game. The end is never the end, the end is never the end, the end is loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Poor Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number
Look, it's me.
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Apăsa pe scroll
buttons
lock.
to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
I don't see nothing.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders
steady game.
as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Look, it's me. Screen tearing. Trebuia să pornesc blessing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Keyboard.
co-workers.
Too much. Up. Now it works. Whoa. Now it's working. Caut calculatorul cu input. Nu l-am găsit. Mă uite la faza în care aflăm cam despre ce e vorba de Stanley Parable. Da, și eu mă lovesc de o ușă.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bun, a spus să mergem pe ușa de stânga. Fuck you, narrator.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh, wow. No plec de aici. Ce acolo?
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Exactly.
Really worth it.
Worth it. Nu pot să văd ce scrie.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oops. Uite ce scrie pe asta. Screenshot saved.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Exact. Poate îmi trimite un mesaj. Ce e? Ce e asta? Niște rotițe. Ce e? Păcat că nu pot să săr. Tem ceas. Ceasul real? Nu. No. Come on. Aici stau, nu mai plec de aici. Nu mai apăsat pe S, idiotule. Dracu, știi ce scrie acolo? Fifia, Panu, Ana, chestii. Da, deja cred că nu mai zice nimic.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Fuck you. Nah, o să mă duc aici.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ce asta? Back on track, stânga, back on track. Spuneți repede în comentarii. Come on. Da, știam că back on track.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Meeting room, floor.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Targets. Get Chris out of the broom closet. We need to find Chris. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets of the topic of... Ce scrie aici? Tomorrow. Complete. Employee for... No, nu sunt acolo. Ce scrie? Gym. Employee numbers, gym. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Numbers of slides on this slide. Charts, slides. Profits. Charts, numbers. Nu scrie acolo, sleep, market. Ce plac astea? Simt aici, nu. Broom closet! Chris!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Chris, unde ești? No, fuck you, narrator. I need to find Chris. Asta seamănă cu o intrare secretă.
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Chris, where are you? I need to find Chris.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Yes,
he wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
I'm sleeping, shut up.
As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA? Ce înseamnă asta? Cineva să spun repede în comentarii.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Vreau să văd ce se întâmplă dacă stau suficient de mult timp. Asta e explicarea.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Dacă nu e important, de ce pot să intru în el?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Help me.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He
Hey!
probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Hookers, yeah. Fuck you, narrator. Fuck you.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Oh shit, am
You got to
murit.
this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Yes, sunt
Well,
mort.
in a situation
Sunt mort
like this,
acum.
the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Ok. Sunt altă persoană.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before
Punem
you.
pariu.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Un papagal se pune? Ok, ok. Come on. Say something. Oh. Say something.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Holy
He
shit.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Holy shit. Look at this. Ce aici? Ce aici? Nu văd nimic. Ce aici? Oh? Ah, cred că să duci mai încolo. Să duci destul de mult timp locul ăsta. Chiar mă mir că nu e nimic acolo. Na, nu e niciun secret pe aici. Nu e niciun secret. Ah, fuck. Am vrut să ies. Ah. Fuck. Loading, 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 loading. Ha, nu mai scrie faza cu the end is never the end, is never the end. Deci asta e sfârșitul. Dum, dum, dum.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ooh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Sau nu? De aici. Escape! I'm going to escape, motherfucker!
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Să mor sau nu? Ah, fuck it. Mă arunc aici, să vedem ce se întâmplă. Geronimo! Ha. Is loading. Deci nu sunt mort. Loading, 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 loading. Oh. Mamă, am niște picioare puternice.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Fuck. Bye! Holy shit!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the
Bun.
machine
Până
crushed
acum de
every
fiecare dată când
bone
mi-am
in
jucat
his
jocul ăsta,
body,
că am mai jucat
killing him
înainte. N-am jucat
instantly.
niciodată să mă duc acolo. Păi, în escape. Ca să știu că se întâmplă asta. The Stanley Parabole.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Nu știu.
When every path you can walk has been created
Deci
for
așa
you long
ajungi
in
la faza
advance,
asta.
death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Free!
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
I'm blind! Nu văd nimic.
But listen to
Oh.
me. You can
Fuck you.
still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
trebuie să filmez
As long
un
as you move
video.
forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Trebuie să fac video. Nu pot să dau quit.
Time...
Fuck! Au. Cream că o să mă salvez din nou. Da, exact.
Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Wait, what?
And as Stanley pondered
destul de
this,
sigur
he
că am
began
ajuns
to
în
make
același
other
loc.
strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Da,
Why
de ce
did
n-am
doors
picioare?
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Da,
No,
se
Stanley said to
repetă destul
himself,
de mult.
this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found
What?
the words for it. I'm dreaming!
What?
He yelled. This is all a dream.
What?
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer,
fuck you.
an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to
What?
lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go
What?
back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy it.
Da.
After
Voi
all,
fiți atenți la
he knew
ce
for
dracu
certain,
zice
beyond a
naratorul.
doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Ah.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself
Spoiler,
too.
I'm
Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Control.
So he closed his
Ah,
eyes
uite, cană.
gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Cafinat.
He felt the cool weight
Wake
of the
up,
blanket on
motherfucker.
his skin,
Mai îmi
the
voi mișca?
press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Wake up, motherfucker.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the
De
buttons.
ce vrei,
Please.
de ce vrea să
It's
stai
all
toată
I
ziua să
want.
apeși pe butoane, serios?
I want my apartment and my wife and my
You have
job.
a wife?
All
Oh,
I
fuck you.
want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will
am
be
normal.
fine. Her place of work.
Oh.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by
Hello,
the body
Stanley.
of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself,
Dar cum
then
a
collapsed
ajuns
dead on
acolo?
the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way,
Da,
seeing
dar
this
cum a
man
ajuns
made
acolo
her
pe
feel
jos?
better.
Eram în
But then she
clădire.
remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Loading, loading, loading. Oh, știu ce asta. Portal.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I
Portal.
love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even
Portal.
supposed to be? I can't figure it out.
Portal.
Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Portal. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Portal.
it's a puzzle.
Portal.
Critical
Portal.
thinking, Stanley. You're forte.
Dun, 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 dun.
Genius.
Dun, 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 dun. Portal, portal,
No, actually,
portal.
you know what? I think that's plenty.
Oh.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I
Dun,
don't
dun,
need
dun,
your
dun,
advice.
dun, dun,
I don't need your ratings.
dun,
And I
dun.
certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happy.
Raio! S-a oprit. S-a oprit. Și de ce sunt de parcă are 3 tone? Ah. Ok. Cât praf am făcut. Ah. Da, îmi păstrez radio. Hai, ce scrie pe aici?
The end will be here soon. Very soon.
The end will
I can
be here
wait.
soon.
Wednesday too, I keep thinking about you and I can't get you out of my I keep thinking thinking about you and I can't get you out of my